We start this hour as US President Donald Trump has announced a dramatic new move to support the American film industry. Trump has announced a 100% tariff on all foreign-produced movies entering the US. In a post online, Trump called the move a response to what he described as a national security threat, blaming other countries for luring film production away with attractive incentives. He said these efforts amounted to messaging and propaganda against the United States. Trump stated he has authorized the Department of Commerce and other agencies to begin implementing the tariffs immediately, but provided no details on how they would be implemented. The announcement has left Hollywood studios scrambling for clarity. Trump's statement did not specify whether the tariffs would apply to American production companies producing films abroad. Meanwhile, global reactions are coming in, with Australia and New Zealand saying they will fight to protect their local industries. The UK's film union also called on the British government to act fast. This move saw the shares of giants like Disney, Netflix and Warner Bros. Falling following the news. Let's listen in to Trump's comments.
Tariffs, what they've done is other nations have been stealing the movie making capabilities from the United States. And I said to a couple of people, what do you think? I've done some very thorough research over the last week, and we're making very few movies now. Hollywood is being destroyed. Now, you have an incompetent, grossly incompetent government that allowed that to happen. So I'm not just blaming other nations, but other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry. And I'm saying, if they're not willing to make a movie inside the United States, then we should have a tariff when movies should come in. And not only that, governments are actually giving big money. I mean, they're supporting them financially. So that's sort of a threat to our country in a sense. And it's been a very popular thing. I can tell you what, movie makers love it. Mr. President.
Well, joining us to discuss these latest developments is Levon Hampartzumian, who is the former CEO and chairman of the management board of UniCredit Bank, who's joining us from Sofia in Bulgaria. Levon, thank you ever so much for being here with us. I want to first look at the impacts that a 100% tariff on foreign movies in the US could have to the global film industry.
Well, for the time being, the only visible impact is uncertainty. Because usually in these kind of things, the fine print is what matters. There will be a big party for lawyers and tax experts and so on to read all these fine prints at some point when they're published and ready, and to try to circumvent them or to optimize if you want. But in any case, the market for American movies is global, and it's quite normal that, for example, Netflix can have a big facilities in Spain, in other places in Europe and so on, because they're selling very well in Europe. If they start putting barriers for foreign production, probably there will be either retaliation or even falling popularity of American movies. Because if today they're considered relatively free and interesting for the rest of the world, at some point, if they become a propaganda tool, for example, they will be less attractive.
Yes, Levon, I want to go further into those comments made by Trump. He, of course, said messaging and propaganda is a risk. Do you think that's a reality, or is this another Trump-made rhetoric?
Well, to me, depending what is the definition of propaganda. In any case, American movie industries make American way of life, at least what it was before Trump, quite popular in the world. Today, probably some people are getting second thoughts about that and so on and so forth. But in any case, yes, movies and pictures and TV shows and everything have a propaganda component in their content.
Yes, Levon, I want to look now at the impact on global markets. We've seen shares drop for Disney, Netflix, Warner Brothers. What will their response be? And how do you think this will work for streaming platforms who might not necessarily be located outside of the United States but have seen their shares be impacted?
The streaming platforms, as of today, they have certain production bases in Europe already, distribution channels and all that. So but probably the capital will be still American, but they will try to avoid paying any additional tariff or any fees or whatever it's necessary. To me, probably it's a little bit too late to impose this kind of restrictions or tariffs for US, because if you look at the history, before, let's say in the mid 20th century, there were similar facilities like Cinecittà in Italy, or the German BEPFA and so on, which are non-existent today.
Yes.
So probably Hollywood will become something from the past, and they will be still American capital involved in content creation, but locations can vary. What is produced for America will stay in America in order to not to pay anything. But what is imported or distributed in the rest of the world will be produced somewhere else, maybe in India.
Yes, Levin, absolutely. I want to finish off by discussing the market share that America has. We were showing a graphic earlier, and hopefully we'll get that back on screen, showing the size of these film markets in countries like New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, and America is on top, vastly on top, showing the size of their film market in comparison. Do you think this was an action and a tariff that Trump needed to put into force, given the superiority of Hollywood over its international rivals?
Well, you have to ask him or his team, because to me, this is completely unnecessary in this point of time, because during the previous years, also with American support in a lot of European countries, like in Bulgaria, there were special laws for foreign movies, but which means almost 100% American movies, to be produced, incentives to be produced locally. Of course, for movie industry, this was a significant cost saving and all that. So bringing all this back to America can be technically possible within certain amount of time, but cost-wise, it will become much more expensive.
Levin, thank you ever so much for joining us. We, of course, wait to see the implementation